We're back, people, and today we're bringing up film on the Indianapolis Colts offense versus the Dolphins defense, how they kind of match up versus each other. I think that both those sides of the ball are better for their respective teams. Colts offense is pretty much middle of the pack in every major statistical category. I think the film backs that up too. We're going to look like how they kind of like want to win the game, how they like to attack things. I think injuries are going to be very, very key for the Colts this week and see how it plays out because they had a lot of did not practices yesterday. Looks like Anthony Richardson will be back in their starting quarterback. I think that's the right move for them in the long run, but in the short term, I actually think that hurts their chances of winning this game. So I think it's a good thing for the Dolphins. Richardson's back there. He's been struggling with accuracy, decision-making, especially versus man-to-man. Like, his EPA versus man is, like, second worst in the league, and it shows up on film. Like, he is throwing picks. He still has the talent to make, like, some crazy, crazy throws and, like, really wow plays, but his consistency has really been struggling. They have pretty good receivers. Now, Pittman and Downs didn't practice yesterday, so we'll see if they end up playing. I think probably the biggest key for them, though, is Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor hasn't played in a couple games. He didn't practice. He said he's feeling better. Dolphins struggle to stop the run right now. If he's playing, that gives the Colts a much better chance of winning, especially if he's playing and he's, like, pretty healthy. If he's not playing, and they have some of the backups in, I think that really helps the Dolphins' chances out. O-line, I think the Colts have one of the better O-lines in the league. Pretty much established starters across the line, except at right guard. They have an undrafted rookie there because of an injury. Their right tackle and their center currently did not practices, but we'll see if they end up playing. I do think the right side is the side you would want to attack. Seemed like Braden Smith has some trouble, especially against their right tackle had some troubles against Trayvon Walker, especially when those injuries started piling up next to my right guard. But Colts run the ball pretty effectively up the middle. Jonathan Taylor looks so explosive. He's definitely the one that lets their offensive tick. Definitely an interesting lineup here. They're like how their tight ends facing. Intriguing call. They'll do a mix of gap scheme and zone stuff. They got guard, tackle, pulling, like what they do with the tight end here, because they kind of did something similar with the Dolphins do. Freeze on the edge defender. They get him to freeze here, then climb up, get to another defender, block them out, and then it allows him to kick out. Taylor shows off vision, burst. Just a really, really one of the better, most talented running backs in the league with vision. When you look at the combination of vision, burst, balance, can run with some power. So definitely, an area I think the Dolphins could have struggling with. They run block pretty well up front. Quentin Nelson. Their left guard was kind of one of their weaker, or their left tackle was one of their weaker points in the prior season. But he's really developed and looked really solid this season, especially in pass protection. So we'll see. That's kind of going to be one of the bigger keys to this game is stopping the Colts running game. They'll also like to mix in the RPO, especially with Richardson at quarterback. They're going to do a lot of RPO stuff, try to make things easy for him, give him some quick, easy reads, get the ball out. They have lots of receivers out there to work with. Pittman, struggling with a back injury right now, but a very good player. Played against Pittman in high school, actually. Josh Downs, when he came back healthy with Flacco, he's looked amazing. I was a big Downs fan coming out of college. Alec Pierce is just making, big plays. He doesn't, play every snap, but when he comes in and gets a big target, he's making huge plays. Then they have Mitchell, the rookie, who's been kind of struggling, actually, but Richardson just struggling to play with any sort of consistency. Gets some pressure on him. He goes play action here. They get a little bit of pressure on him. He's starting to slide back. Packers go man-to-man, and he struggles versus man because he's got to be more precise, hitting these tight window throws. And when he has to be precise for tight window throws, he just misses. Ball's overthrown. Safety gets a free interception. Definitely the way to take advantage. I think using a similar game plan that the Dolphins had versus the Patriots, where they went a little more man-to-man heavy, ran more blitzes, I think the Dolphins should find some success there. I do think this is one of the games the Dolphins just match up better versus the Colts than some of the other teams they've played on both sides of the ball. So that will be, I think, give the Dolphins a pretty good chance. But, if Taylor's playing, this is where they would struggle the most, is versus the run. Dynamic, explosive runner. Doesn't matter if it's outside zone, gap scheme. He's going to hit, understand, his responsibility, what he's supposed to be doing on the play. He's just very, very good. Now, if he does play and he's not, 100%, that could help them out. It seems like, he's still recovering from an ankle injury, so maybe lacked a little more explosiveness, so we'll see how that ends up playing out. But if he comes back and is at least 90, he's going to give the Dolphins, I think, the most problems of the day. I think if Flacco played, they could struggle versus the passing game more, but I don't expect it. They could still have some big plays, but I think overall they'll be fine. This time throws a pick versus zone. Richardson just makes a poor read. This nickel just baits him into this throw, kind of opens up his hips initially, this guy's going to cross and he's going to, sink to this. But he ends up just, boom, flipping his hips back open, staying in the throwing lane of it. getting the interception. Just good job baiting that throw by this Packers defender. You can definitely get after Richardson like this. Really, I think, struggles to go through some progressions at times. He gets locked in and just makes that decision in the pocket. He's also going to be coming off a shoulder injury, so we don't know if he's going to be 100% in his first game back. Could limit him. Maybe he doesn't want to run as much. But he also can do things like this. He slips in the pocket, falling off balance, makes a throw, like literally 60 yards down the field to Alec Pierce, who has been just getting big play after big play. Like, this is from the 40. Alec Pierce at the bottom here is just a big play throw. If he's on the field, get back. Like, they're throwing deep to him. But him falling off balance, throws this from like the 32, 33, and it basically lands almost in the end zone. Like, that's very, very impressive. Those types of things, like, you got to be worried about. We'll look at some of the stuff they did last week versus Tennessee. They found Tennessee, Colts kind of moved the ball early on against them and then found some success, and the Colts had some success later on. But for most of the game, they struggled. But with Flacco, Downs is so good, man. I think Downs is a very good player. Slot receiver. Has way more success with Flacco, though. So Flacco's playing. That hurts them. It's kind of similar to when the Dolphins play the Titans. Like, I think Levis getting hurt actually hurt the Dolphins. I think that would be similar in this game if Richardson missed time. It would hurt their chances of winning. But boom, the out and up. Just such good pace and timing in the route there. The tempo of it all. Makes strong catches at the catch point. Flacco is very aggressive. If Flacco does end up playing, very aggressive quarterback. Like, he's going to rip some throws into tight windows, throw it down the field, find people open. Like, he makes good decisions, but like sometimes he'll make some tough ones where like he's just trying to throw the ball. He has really no mobility either. Like, here he gets, the interception. They're able to actually create some pressure. This is Jeffrey Simmons versus Quentin Nelson, which, it's some of the best on best right there. Simmons creates some pressure. Flacco's not able to step in the throw. They try to hit cover 2 into a tight window. It floats over, gets intercepted. Yeah, they're going to be trying to run the ball. If they have Taylor, they're going to be a very run-heavy team in this game, mixing in RPO, play action, throws over the middle, try to make things easy on Richardson. They don't want Richardson to, lose the game for them. But when he has to, straight drop back, make some quick decisions, you make him hold on to the ball. You squeeze some windows initially, and you make him start to panic, get some happy feet in the pocket here. He gets pressured. Braden Smith, their right tackle, I think is the one they've seen lose the most out there. You can also, I think, get after their right guard. I think this is their starter that's not playing, though, 75. I believe their undrafted rookie is a different number that you can go after, too. But Braden Smith has lost some reps. I think the Dolphins will mostly get pressure, though, with their blitz looks. That's kind of how they've been doing it with the injuries at their edge positions. They've been doing, simulated pressures, manufacturing a lot of that. But they get after Richardson here, and he just tries to do too much. Instead of, going down, throwing it away right away, he's trying to, escape. Boom, ball gets knocked out. Defensive lineman catches it. I believe it ends up counting as a fumble, but yeah. Could have been fumble, could have been interception, whether it was a throw or not. He makes too many bonehead decisions, kind of similar on that Levis sort of wavelength. But they do have offensive talent. If Taylor's healthy, they have a good running game. They have a good O-line for the most part, at least comparatively to the rest of the league. They have a very good receiving core. Not a lot of they don't have a high-end number one, but they have a lot of good players. Pittman is their best receiver. I think Downs is one of the better slots in the league. In my opinion, I'm a huge Downs fan. I think Mitchell will end up being a good eventually. He's not playing good for them right now. And then Pierce is a very good deep threat. But you can get pressure. If you get one-on-one on this right tackle, I think you can get after him. He's established and had some success in the league, but Trayvon Walker was bullying him in this game. Knock the ball out, create turnovers. That's kind of the key you're looking for versus the Colts is limiting the run game, especially if Taylor's in the game. Putting them in situations where they have to throw the ball. It can't just be a quick RPO passing game. They have to drop back, make decisions. That's where they get into trouble. I think the Packer game is a good example of what the Dolphins need to do on both sides of the ball. Dolphins obviously have a pretty similar team to Green Bay when it comes to scheme, especially when it comes to their offensive side. But yeah, we'll see how it ends up playing out. Should be an interesting game. I think this is I think the Dolphins have just as much a chance of winning this game as they did the New England game, and they end up pulling out the Patriots game. I think they're going to move the ball with decent amount of success. It just depends if they can actually finish, which they've really struggled to do on offense. I think the defense versus the Colts offense will be pretty close battle. I think the defense will end up having a pretty solid day. They'll give up some points, but I don't think they're going to give a crazy amount of points. And I think they'll create some turnovers. It just depends. I think if the Dolphins offense puts the defense in tough positions with like really bad turnovers, makes a lot of mistakes, and they just can't finish. Also, special teams too, which the Dolphins special teams unit is horrible. The Dolphins special teams unit is just gonna have the biggest mismatch all year. But I think the blueprint was there, created a New England game. I think the Colts do some similar things, actually, for like what New England does, especially defensively. Have some similar strengths and weaknesses. They're not 1-to-1 comparisons, but I think the Dolphins can attack Indianapolis. So yeah, expect a stream tomorrow where we'll just talk more about the Colts game. I think we'll also talk about like Dolphins positions and how they've played up to the bye. Like just go by each position group, kind of break down player by player. Should be fun, so we can just hang out, chill, talk, and then Dolphins finally play. Been a long week, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.